Hey guys, I'm Samcrac, and today I want to tell you about an unbelievable Bugatti story that was told to me as a first-hand experience by one of my good friends I've known since middle school, who worked at a quick oil change, tire, and general automotive repair shop. It's a big chain here in the United States. He worked for him for several years, and at the time of this Bugatti story, he was managing this specific shop right outside of Orlando, Florida, an area that he described as a more affluent area. And he would tell me about all the cool cars that would come in. And again, since he was the manager, after certain services were performed to nicer cars, he would be the guy to take them out on test drives. So he told me about all sorts of Corvettes, Porsches, a Nissan GTR that came in one time, and the tech accidentally scratched one of the wheels when he was mounting a new tire to it, and they owed several $1,000s to repair that. He told me about an Orlando Magic player that brought in their Maybach for a new set of tires, and it was the really long Maybach, and he thought it was just the coolest car ever. So anytime one of these cool cars would come in, I'd hear the story about it. And so one day we're sitting at lunch, and he tells me, "You'll never believe the car that came into my shop just a few days ago." And so hearing about a Maybach, GTRs, Porsches, Corvettes, things of that nature, I immediately think, well, could have been a Ferrari, maybe a Lamborghini. And he doesn't tell me, he just picks up his phone, and I remember this so vividly. It was an iPhone 4, and that will date this story. I want to say it was around 2011 when he told me. And he just showed me this picture right here. Now, when he first showed me this photo, I definitely thought it was a joke. I mean, look at it. It just looks like this car could be parked anywhere. If you take a closer look at it, you could tell that it is in the service bay of one of these general automotive maintenance shops. But it wasn't until he showed me this second photo where there's literally a tech, another tech standing next to him. It looks like the other guy might be holding his cell phone. There's actually rain on the car, and from the first photo, if we go back to that, you could see it's a gloomy day here in Florida, so it was raining outside. This car was really at this quick oil change place. I was in immediate shock when I saw these couple photos, and I asked my friend, who was the guy? Why was he there? What was wrong with the car? Did you do any work on it? And so he told me this story. Now, my friend was sitting in the sales area of the shop. That's where you would walk in as a customer, hand him your keys, tell him that you want an oil change and a tire rotation, and he would try and upsell you on $800 worth of the other unnecessary services, and then you'd agree somewhere in the middle, and you could wait in the waiting area. You could go home and come back later. So he's sitting in the sales area, and here's a commotion coming from the service bay where you just saw a picture of the car sitting. And the person driving this Bugatti took the car, they just drove it right into the service bay. They didn't park in the parking lot and walk in the sales area like a normal customer, right into the service bay. So he hears the commotion coming from the service bay. He gets up and he walks out there and sees this car. I'm guessing he was in as much shock as I was. And the gentleman driving the car gets out and asks that he have one of his tires that was leaking air patched. And he simply looked at the guy and said, "I'm really sorry, but we don't work on this type of car." And the gentleman insisted, "You need to fix my tire." And he said, "I'm really sorry, but we cannot do it." The gentleman got right back in the car, pulled out, and he left. And according to, again, my friend, he left pretty furiously. Now, the obvious reason my friend declined service on this Bugatti was liability. Imagine that Nissan GTR that came in, the wheel was scuffed, and it cost him a few $1,000s to replace just one wheel. Now imagine this Bugatti. Imagine they tried to patch a tire the proper way on a Bugatti and they scuffed one of those wheels. If you ever watch a documentary on a Bugatti, they talk about how the maintenance costs are ungodly expensive, to the tune of $40,000 for a set of 4 new tires. They won't sell you just one tire. If you get one tire replaced, you have to get all 4 of them done at the same time. And hey, if you go through 3 sets of tires, they recommend a new set of wheels along with that 4th tire setup, which costs in excess of $150,000. I think of what I could buy at a salvage auction for $150,000, and it boggles my mind. But I give the Bugatti owner in this case a lot of credit for attempting to get a cheap solution to his expensive problem. I know that if this were my car, I would be laying on the ground right now with that tire rasp that came from the very cheap Walmart kit, rasping the tire to then go and stick a 99-cent patch right in it. I don't know how safe Bugatti might deem the car at over 200 miles an hour with a plug in one of the tires, but it has been proven that you can work on your own Bugatti. Houston Cross to Here on YouTube has a handful of videos where they've performed services like an oil change and different wheel and tire changes on the car. As a matter of fact, because the wheel and tire setup on the Bugatti is so expensive, Houston did something, in my opinion, that's very smart. He put an aftermarket set of wheels and tires on the car, and the tires are the same size tires that fit a Lamborghini. So when he goes to get tires changed out, he can get them easily, and they're a fraction of the cost of what it would cost if he sent the car to Bugatti. Houston's channel is proof that a Bugatti is quite simply a car, and it comes apart like any other car, albeit there is quite a few other systems that most ordinary cars don't have. Now guys, I hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, be sure to give it a big like. If you're not already following me on Instagram, where I'll be unveiling my new supercar rebuild projects before they go live here on YouTube, you can go right here, or just click the link in the description box below. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching today, and I'll catch you very soon.